we exoticize food for its flavor and how well you can do it, but we're not there yet when it comes to accepting that without movement of people, this would have never happened. Generally, in my work, maps and mapping and doing that through collage especially is very important. I mean, we're almost collaging right here, right? So this is also giving you some kind of information. Or maybe we should do it.
Safe and sound, knowing I am around.
Kitchen Table is a project that looks at food history, the movement of food making practices across time and over geography, and at the same time trying to find artistic forms of sharing these histories with a general public. So the project is really all about migration, the migration of food, the migration of people and plants, and before borders were drawn, which was probably not such a long time ago. It's just that, you know, most of the people who, like me or are listening, probably only were born with borders. But before that, people moved all the time. They moved for different reasons, and it wasn't so hard to move. And we don't also think about the fact that food has moved with birds, for example, because they eat something and then they go to I don't know where and poo, and then something grows over there. And so this project is really fundamentally at its core thinking and looking at the movement of people and plants and the recipes that they took with them. So this ancient cookbook is called Kitab al-Tabikh. The book is around 9th, 10th century Baghdad. It's the first complete cookbook. And these cookbooks document what the royal kitchens were cooking. They're huge, there's a lot going on, there's always banquets and festivals and whatever. So it seems that the elite population were interested to know what was going on in the royal kitchens in Baghdad. And so they began to commission writers to document the best, most famous recipes. They're very difficult to follow. So it took like 2 months for me to get the courage to actually start cooking from them, because it's not how I have ever seen a recipe. These recipes in these cookbooks become a place to understand also what was coming in through trade. Particularly around like between Central Asia and Western Europe. I mean, this is mainly the area that I'm looking at because it's the places kind of where I've lived and have traveled and sort of understand and I'm curious about. About a year ago, I began research on za'atar, and za'atar is the Arabic word for this plant, the oregano plant, but it is also the name of a mixture, a herbal mixture that we eat in the Eastern Mediterranean. So it's a very popular food in the Eastern Mediterranean. The people are invited into the room and to first of all taste individual seeds and herbs and spices. And then they're invited to make their own za'atar, as it were. I give them the, you know, everything is set out. And then we slowly start to taste as I narrate a story around, you know, the plant, its histories, its spiritual references, its uses, where it grows, what it likes to do, and all of the symbolism attached to it. Because oregano is actually a very, almost a sacred plant. It's a medicinal plant. And it's also every day in the supermarket. So, and everybody likes their pizza with a bit of oregano on it, so. So during the performances, I slowly start to create live maps. So I'm drawing it on a table, and actually you can see it projected quite large while everyone is seated and eating. These maps are bringing in the different elements that I'm talking about, and then I draw adding information on as I go along. And towards, by the end of the performance, the image in some way tells the story of the meal.
Shut your eyes, trust in me.
In het kader van dit project Kitchen Table is Samah Hijawi eigenlijk op heel veel plekken naar residentie gegaan en ze heeft eigenlijk ook in heel veel keukens residenties gedaan. Zo zat ze in de keuken van De Vooruit, nu in de keuken van de Beurschouwburg, bij ons in de keuken van de Kunstwerkplaats, in de pianofabriek heeft ze gezeten, in het gemeenschapscentrum De Zijp in Jette, maar ook in Kaap in Brugge. Dus eigenlijk is ze met dit project Kitchen Table bij heel veel kunstorganisaties beland, maar dan in de keuken, wat eigenlijk zeer atypisch is voor een kunstenaarsresidentie. Dus het is een project dat eigenlijk over geopolitiek gaat, over kunst, maar ook vooral over de dagelijkse caretaking die toch heel veel bij vrouwen zit. En ondertussen krijg je bij Samah Hijawi een heel verhaal over de geschiedenis van het Midden-Oosten en hoe die gelinkt is met onze geschiedenis en ons verleden. Al die dingen komen samen.
I'm not sure Kitchen Table would have had the same research questions if I was not living in Brussels. And it's actually one of the reasons why I really like this city. It's the second most mixed city in the world. And it also means that everyone's opened up a little shop to get the stuff that they need from back home. I love going into small shops. It's almost like a hobby. I don't know if it's a hobby or an obsession. My kitchen's, I need a lot more space. The city really does offer you any ingredient you're looking for. If you have the time and the patience, you're quite likely to find it. If you're looking for one ingredient, you go to the shop, and then the shop owner tells you where they're from and where they came, and then you unravel all of this, of the city, which for me is beautiful because I think the more mixed we are, the better. For food, that's totally true. Let's see if we can push those boundaries on a human level.